Hello. I decided that I really need to get some videos out for this channel consistently, and a weekly breakdown is the perfect way to do that because 1, it means I can get a video out every week, and 2, it means I'm going to be keeping myself accountable and actually logging my trades properly with in-depth and going over what went well and what could be better, which I think is really going to benefit my trading. So without further ado, we'll hop into that now. So naturally we're starting with Monday here, where I just incurred 1 break even. This was the only trade that I entered on the day, and it's not a breakdown video, so I'm not going to go into too much depth, but the reason I entered this trade is, as you can see here, low time frame, obviously very bearish, and when you zoom out, very bearish as well. So I'm literally just following trend, keeping up with order flow. I have my targets, but like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail. Now, the reason I've entered here just on this liquidity line is because of the amount of misses I've had in recent weeks, and I was making sure it was not going to happen again. This is what would have been my order block for entry, and look, you know, half a pip. So thankfully I didn't take that order block and learnt my lessons this time and entered from there. After this low failed, I set my break even, which immediately was tapped out, frustratingly. But looking now, I've just noticed this beautiful little supply here that played out very nicely. And it was just one of those where, because I was in the trade, my vision was clouded and I just missed the opportunity, but there will be plenty more. Rolling straight into Tuesday now, where same premise again, just keeping up with order flow. I've got my targets, I've done my analysis, and it's just following trend is basically what it is. Classic sweep break, nice sell model, but a soul crushing miss. This one did get to me because despite my best efforts, it's just happened again. I can't seem to avoid these misses. It was by, you know, not even half a point there. And yeah, because I was so angry, I just got straight off the charts and ended up missing this, which would have been nice to trade following news, trade the sells down from there. But again, as I say, there will be more opportunity and just learn from those mistakes. Moving swiftly on into hump day, similar to Monday where there's some liquidity formed here, and I've set my entry just above that because I refuse to keep taking these misses. Once again, what would have been my order block is missed by less than 1 point, and you can see this one did hit TP, but due to all of this sort of chicken scratch here, I was kind of unconfident. I ended up taking out half of my position somewhere around here because I thought, you know, maybe there's some kind of demand zone there. And then all in all, by the time the trade was over and done and I was out, it was literally about a 1 hour gain, which is not spectacular. So just a plus 0.5% on the Wednesday, which is definitely better than a kick in the nuts at the very least. No live trades taken on the Thursday. I was looking at this, I was hoping for it to play out before news, but it didn't. I mean, this is just beautiful price action right here, had it played out. And what I was hoping to see from news was when the news whipsawed to spike up, taking out the liquidity, tapping me in and then dropping. However, as soon as news came out, it dropped down first, and pretty much immediately after I saw it drop down and start coming back up, I decided my supply is going to get blasted, so I deleted that limit, and thankfully so, because see, it got absolutely fucking railed here. Meanwhile, however, over on GU, things were looking a lot nicer. Now this setup is just something that I'm working on, collecting data on. It's a very simple strategy based on news. Essentially the premise is when news sweeps some liquidity like that and whipsaws, you can expect whatever way it goes initially to go the opposite way. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but let me know if you'd like me to do a bit more in-depth on this quick little strategy. The take profit was at this area of supply, but you could have very easily targeted the overall high, which would have given you a nice about 7.5 R. And my stop loss was below the low that got swept out, not the low of the wick. So overall, this new strategy could be very promising for big news events such as this. And finally, NFP Friday, we finished off with a bang. My initial stop was this massive thing right here for only a 2 R in total, but very swiftly I moved it up to right around here to mitigate some losses, and very shortly after that I moved it up again to basically break even. So yeah, overall it was a 2R, but my overall risk for the most of the trade was much smaller, if that makes sense. So plus 2% gain. This is the same strategy I spoke about from Thursday, and I'm supposed to be collecting data on it, so I'm not quite sure why I took it live, but yeah, I guess I'll take the little win there. Now if you finish primary school, then you'll know that puts me up 2.5% for the week. So we'll hop in now to do an overview of everything. So what went well? Firstly, I incurred no losses. My direction was always correct. I had 2 winners, and I learned from previous misses and avoided them quite effectively in general. Now, what could have gone better? Firstly, the break even on Monday could have easily been avoided simply by trusting my analysis and not setting break even so early, just letting the trade run. If it wins, it wins. If it loses, it loses. I accept the risk. And off the back of that, the missed opportunity, because I was in that trade, left my head a bit cloudy. So yeah, I missed another potential trade to make some money. My emotions after the miss on Tuesday were very high. I got quite angry, and that just shouldn't be happening. I should be controlling my emotions much better. Yeah, just keep remaining level in the markets is very key. And finally, the Wednesday trade could have been managed better, where again it just comes down to trusting my analysis, leaving the trade, letting it hit the take profit, and not taking profits too early, because I took half the money that I potentially could have with that trade. And to summarize everything, considering the current forex conditions, I think I did pretty well. I'm happy with my performance. I avoided losses and misses, and I capitalized on some opportunity with news, but most importantly, I went home with some percentage. If I can make 2 to 3% every week, I'm a happy man. That's obviously 8 to 12% a month on a 200k. I mean, you do the maths. After profit splits and conversions, it's going to be a solid 15k pounds a month, which is amazing for anyone at my age. So I know I've done well, and I know where I could have improved. So now all it is making sure I reinforce the positives and work on the negatives, and just forever progress. Thanks for watching.